Okay, we get started now. Hello guys, welcome to Pykidz. Hope you are enjoying your vacation now, your winter vacation. Christmas is just over, I think. So let us go to another round of Python. We have covered quite some ground. We have looked at different data types. We looked at initially, we started with simple data types like integers, strings and all that, and then we went into data types of which hold a lot of other things, right, like collection data types. Now I think we're going to get to some interesting stuff. So again, as I always say, you should actually do development, do actual programming to learn better. That's the best way to learn, right? So when you see these videos, try to work along with me, right? So open up your terminal, your REPL or your editor and play along. That's the best way to learn this. Okay, so today we are going to cover conditionals. This might be more than one video. As usual, I try to split it into smaller pieces. My daughter has actually said even my smaller pieces are pretty big, so I'll see if I can make it even more smaller sort of videos, right? So that's the intention. Let us see how that goes. Okay, conditionals. Now till now what we have seen is we have written programs which execute one after the other. Sequential execution, right? Execution means it's another word for running a program, right? So it executes the first command, the second statement, the third statement, the fourth statement. Statement is nothing but a meaningful line of Python code, right? So we have seen sequential execution of Python statements, right? Now that's not how the real world works, right? The real world is a little more, needs a lot more decision making. How to do, if this happens I want to do this, if that happens I want to do something else, all else I'll do this something else. So this is how we learn, we do our things in the world, right? The world is like that. And if a software or if a program needs to even, I mean, apart from calculations, yeah, calculations are great, but if it has to show any intelligence, it has to be able to decide on things, right? It should be able to say something different if a different situation occurs, right? So that is important, and that comes by using conditionals or using a way to control the flow of the program, right? So that's what conditionals or conditional logic allows you to do. Now we need a way to direct the order of execution. So the first thing we will see, the most basic tool which allows us to do this is the if statement, right? So if statement goes like this. It has got a if with an expression. Expression is a Python statement which has a value, right? So we will see this very soon. I'll start working with some examples. So if with a expression is nothing but a Python statement. It's a fancy Python statement. Statements are just lines of executable code, meaningful, syntactically correct code, but expression will always have a value at the end of it, right? So it will always calculate and evaluate to a value. That's why it's an expression. Now if an expression, and that expression has to be true or truthy, right? We saw truthy so many times during our earlier videos. So if there's a truthy expression or a true value of a boolean, then it will execute the statement below it, right? That's the structure. Now let us do some actual coding and see. So I am here. I just don't know whether I am on the right version of Python. Let me just check that. Yeah, I'm on 381. That's the version we have been playing with till now, right? So we'll continue with that. So I am going to use PT Python. It's a little more color coded, right? So I'll do that. So now we have our usual age equal to 10, right? So now I can always do a, we have seen these conditional or comparative statements, right? Now these comparative statements, if I do this, if it's less than equal to true, you will get a true. Now this is an expression. This expression is returning a true value, right? So you have seen these comparison operators before in the videos earlier. So this is the same thing. So once you have done this, now we'll look at, this is the basic expression. I'm now going to use an editor to actually show you this, because we have been using the REPL for so long. I want to change things a bit, so I'm going to use the editor for this. Okay, so I'm going to open up VS Codium. I think you have installed that before, so I will just use that. And I'm going to open up, I'm going to create a new file, right? Let us call this age commenter.py. Okay, so now this, well, let's start off simply. We know how to collect inputs, so let us be nice and ask people for their name, right, before we start commenting about their age. So this is a toy example, but it will help me to explain the concepts behind how you can control flow, right, how you can use conditionals. So let us ask for name. Please give me your name. Okay, I've done that. Let me put a space so that's easy to read. And then obviously my conditions are going to work based on age, because that's a simple example to work with. Age, and remember we can always put input and then please give me your age. Now what I obviously need to do is, you know that input provides you data in the form of string, and age cannot be string, right? So we want to convert that into a int, and that's for that you use casting. So int, see, it's the help coming through. Okay, now I'll start off with no simple linear sequential execution. So let us say I want to, the commenter will obviously use some kind of special adjective, right? That's what I mean, being a smart commenter means there's be something, some special adjective, but right now it's not going to be smart, right? It's just going to be simple. So right now no interesting comments. So greeting, let us just, we'll use f strings, hi, special adjective, so that we just got earlier, and then I can put, I will ask with a name. Now this is, remember, I'm just making this up. You can have a different way of sending out this comment or this greeting. I'm just going to go with something simple, right? And then once I have created that greeting, I'm just going to print that greeting. Okay, so now this is done. Let me go execute this. I need to go to command prompt. I need to get out of this, so I can do this and get out, and I am in the right place. Just check. Yeah, my file is there. So now I should be able to execute this file, python age commenter.py, asking me for my name. Let me just say Srini. I'm using my own name for a change, and I'm not going to reveal my age, right? So I'm going to put 12, maybe one of your ages, and then I say, hi Srini, you are 12, you 12-year-old, right? Now you can see there, right, there is a space. I mean, after hi there is a space with an exclamation, but there is nothing yet because it's not intelligent yet. So now let us start getting a bit intelligent for this, right? Cool. So I'm going to go back to my editor here. Now if age, okay, we looked at this, right? So if I do this and there is a colon here, and if you see I have to tab in, okay, special adjective. That means there is an indentation inside, and I will talk a lot about this. I'm going to say you are a Vizokido, right? So Vizokido, there's already a exclamation, so I don't have to add it here. I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to come back here, and there's a problem. What's the problem here? Age. That's why. See, I put ID instead of if. That's why it was not working properly. So, right? So, if is the right term. So, when you are programming, you are bound to make a lot of silly just typing mistakes. So, okay, the Python will help you sometimes. Python sometimes will lead you onto a goose chase. Here, I mean, it didn't say anything. It is invalid syntax, but I saw the ID in front and I realized, right? So, go look back, read your code, and you will understand what the problem is. Okay. Cool. So let me execute this again. This time I'm going to go with Beam. Beam is say 9-year-old. Vizokido. Beam, you are 9-year-old, right? If I try with say somebody else, Tenali, and he will say he's 35, no interesting comments, right? It is just going to be simple. So what has happened now is, conditionally, if the age is less than or equal to 2, I am changing the value of special adjective to from empty to this. So this is no longer linear or just sequential execution, right? You have suddenly gone into a branch and come back, right? So this is a starting point. We will stop here. We'll do more in the next video, right?